to That Wrestling Podcast.
Recording is in progress. It's That Wrestling Podcast.
Yeah.
Wrestlemania Night 2 live reaction. We go to Allegiant Stadium where the algorithm, Jason, has just been in the building for John Cena winning champion.
I'm still here.
Yes, he's still in the building for John Cena 17 championships.
And wrestling's ruined.
Yeah.
but our podcast is even better because Joe ain't here. So yeah. What a night. It's funny because earlier this week we thought that night one was going to be the better night on paper, but I guess that's why they don't wrestle on paper. You know, they wrestle the matches. So not sure how it came up on TV or how it went, but in this stadium, it was a very mixed crowd for that main event. Okay. I thought it was awesome until the Travis Scott of it all. You guys know I'm not a fan. Yeah. The only thing he's about good for now is I bought 3 of his shirts, and I'm going to flip them for hundreds of dollars and make all the money off of him. So, yeah. How did the Travis Scott thing come up on? How did it show on TV? Anything good?
Almost exactly what you said.
Yeah.
The whole match almost to exactly what you said. It was hot. The crowd was lackluster a lot during the night. At certain points they were really good, but during that match they were the hottest they were either 2 days. And Travis Scott coming out, it didn't move any needle. It came off stale. It just basically ruined the main event. From that point on.
Well, I mean, he came out like the Undertaker.
Yeah,
you know, as long as he took to get to the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's a little much. I agree. A little much.
Yeah. I mean, the bathroom break for me was Logan and AJ. How sad is that? That was pretty good from what people said. So, but I had to pee, so I had to go. Oops. Yeah.
It's all good, man. Yeah.
So
how were the seats? You had different seats tonight.
Yeah. So we upgraded, and luckily my other seats sold in about 15 minutes, which was great. I lost about $80, and then we get to our seats that were not marked limited view, and guess what? They were limited view. There was a crane fucking right in front of our seats, and you would have thought somebody kicked my dog, as pissy as I was for that 40 minutes until we got it fixed. My wife can attest. I was a little bitch about the whole thing. But luckily we got seated actually closer than what our new seats were. Yeah. So like originally we were right over, we're like back here.
Yeah.
But now I'm here, which is like right here and closer, and
it's
overall.
Awesome.
Yeah. So definitely worth it. Night 2, better than night 1. And is it just the 2 of you? I know Joe gotta work because he's a teacher. He can't do podcast 11 o'clock at night.
I don't know if Greg's popping on. Barbara Ryan declined due to many beers and edibles. So I said you're good. Get the night off.
Yeah,
it's a triple threat tonight.
Yeah.
So
what was a big highlight though?
Yes.
I mean,
I love the main event.
Okay, other than the Travis Scott of it all.
Look, the first 3 or 4 matches were perfect.
Yeah, right.
And then the main event was really good until the Travis Scott. But overall, man, night 2 way better than night 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't wait to get back to my hotel. I think we're gonna go to the Superstore because the new John Cena shirt is out and it is awesome. It is so good. So www.shop.com. You can order that right now. I'm going to have it in hand, hopefully, in about 10 minutes when I walk up those steps. So, yeah, man. I'm sure I'll have a lot more. Wrestling fans are still the worst. There was, real quick. You know, we always say it's always cool as hell to watch wrestling like a kid does and how it reacts to the good guys and the bad guys. There was this kid in front of me was such a dick. He was probably like 8 years old. And there was a kid to my left cheering, this little shithead was, that guy sucks. That guy sucks. It was awesome.
Damn it. That's
so
amazing.
Yeah.
Greg's coming on. Right on.
Yeah.
Right on.
So I gotta go because we're getting that look from the ushers at the end of a night when they're like, "Gotta go, guys, gotta go." So the real main event is happening in my hotel, room 413 at the Palms, and I will talk to you guys on Thursday. See ya.
Boom. Safe travels.
Man, I didn't know there was a repeat of the Royal Rumble already.
Oh, apparently so. Wow. Well, one comes out, one comes in. Greg, welcome, buddy. We are off and rolling here, man. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. We just got the live report, obviously, from Jason live at Allegiant Stadium, and we all briefly touched on the main event and kind of thought it was going well, was enjoying it. And then maybe a little too much Travis Scott. Got a whole big old entrance, a hell of a long time to get down to the ring. And we saw what happened after that. So early impressions of what you saw. I think you were the only one who picked Cody to win, if I'm correct on that.
Yeah, I don't mind John Cena winning. Like, I even though I picked Cody, kind of assumed John was going to win, hoping against Hope. But I just don't like how it was done. They could have done it without Travis, and it would have been much better. Figured there'd be some shenanigans. He wouldn't win cleanly, but I just don't think Travis needed to be involved. The Rock being involved would have been better. Yeah, it is what it is.
Like, no one could have came out to help Cody. Is the big question mark. Like, that's why me and my buddy Scott were also texting during it, and I was like, I don't mind shenanigans. We knew there were going to be shenanigans. But that was like the lowest amount of shenanigans you could have in a main event, especially in the past several years. We've had a crud ton of them. So it's like, I don't know. It was just, I think they're trying to make Travis Scott bigger than what he is. Yeah. He's got to be in the ring at some point, right? Maybe SummerSlam.
Maybe,
something, because you can't go in there in the main event of Wrestlemania and cause that title change and be that big of an impact. Yeah. But that main event, I felt like it was lackluster, though. Jay hit on, Greg, before you came on, he hit on what he considers his bathroom break, and it was Logan Paul versus AJ, because he didn't say it was boring. I'm not saying anything to that point, but he was like, he needed to go one, and he like heard from other people that it was like, oh, that was a really good match. For me personally, every match before that was damn good or next to perfect. So that match to me was kind of like an average match just because everything else was so perfect. And I think my adrenaline was so high. That's why I probably need to go back and rewatch that match, because I'm guessing it was probably better than a lot of people were probably thinking of the match. But every match before that, holy crap, was just fantastic, starting off with that triple threat match. But do you guys think the same on that Logan Paul, AJ?
It's funny you say that, Kev, because that's the one match I really didn't get to see. I ended up taking a little family phone call for Easter. So I had in my notes of like, guys, how was that match? Should I go back and watch it? So we're 0 for 3 kind of on how that one went.
Watch it. It is some fun. Okay. Literally everything you could think of that Logan would have done, he did. And he did to perfection.
Greg,
everything you could have think that AJ would have done, great chemistry. I just feel like they hit the hits, kind of, and they did a very what you would have expected type of match.
I saw the part with Cross. That was kind of the ending part with, he's got the knuckles, and he's like, come on, AJ, this, like, we need this. And then the finish came after that. So I'll have to check out the rest of it in the coming days. But yeah, I will say, I mean, let's get back to the main event. I loved the deliberate intention of trying to make the crowd not like John Cena. The black font with white letters for the entrance of John Cena.
Loved it.
Just plain Jane. All of his offense was deliberately slow, where he's like doing, headlocks and just basically throwing punches. Like it's not something to be amazed at whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, to me, I know Jay said, pretty split crowd. To me, it seemed more pro Cena, maybe like a 2/3 Cena cheering, 1/3 Cody. So I thought that was really interesting, but like we all said, that the Travis Scott, and I didn't mind what he did at Elimination Chamber of just kind of hanging around there and getting in a punch like that. I know that bothered some people. It didn't bother me. I'm like, that's fine. He's a celebrity. It's nothing big. But my buddy Ken texted me and he's like, oh, like, that was what it was. And we're saving The Rock for another time. And I went, this is WrestleMania. We're not saving him for payback, guys. Like, where was The Rock? That's my biggest takeaway is like, Travis is what it is, but that's a really weird spot to not be showing up for.
Yeah, 100%. I would have taken The Rock in any capacity.
Yeah.
Doing something in that match, even if it's not a complete run-in, coming down to the ring, a distraction, something over Travis Scott in that spot.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit more about the things I think we will all universally agree that we liked. That women's triple threat. Whoa, what a start. What a start. And EO retains. I think we all had that one too.
Yeah.
But I mean, as that match was going on, I was like, hey, whoever wins, cool. Like, you three are so good, and the crowd ate it up. What a start, guys.
Those three need a triple threat match at least a few more times.
Yeah.
Chemistry between every single one. And the nice thing is it wasn't just Rhea versus Bianca. Let's just beat each other up and have a great match. It was like Riptide. And then Io would do a moonsault and Bianca would get a lot of offense. And it was like one on one. And then they would all be on their back. And it was like just the chemistry and the flow between all three of them. You hit the exact point, like rooting for no one in particular, but
at
just
that point,
kind of like last night, the main event, right? I liked all three of them in this fun. And picks aside, who cares about the picks?
Right.
But like picks aside, like it's just fun watching all three of those, just like the men's match last night. So it was like kind of like the last match last night, first match tonight. It was just three of the best in their respective division going after a title and having an amazing chemistry type of match. Like it was awesome. And I'm glad EO won just because of the little, like Bianca, kissing her hand and smacking her butt to the crowd. Like so good. And I found out Montez has a kid before.
Previous
like
marriage,
kid.
I believe. Yeah.
So, and Bianca, I watched majority of WrestleMania, right, with Brett, my son, and my wife was just like, geez, Bianca's abs.
Yeah.
Like those things
She's
are
insane.
Things aren't even abs. They're like the size of dollar bills. Like the woman is insane. All three of them. Kudos to that match. Every match after that had a lot to live up to. And the nice thing is majority of them did.
It rolled for a while. Yeah, Greg.
That sequence in front of the announce tables when Rhea jumped to the outside on top of Bianca and then Io followed it up was just amazing. Like that was one of the better. I mean, the whole match was filled with great spots, but that was one of the ones that really stuck out to me. Just, it was so smooth, just really, really well done.
Yeah. The beginning of the finishing sequence where Rhea was on the ropes, but she was like facing the outside, and Io tried to do like the reverse hurricanrana, and Rhea held her and flipped her to the post, the ring post on the top. I mean, that was like I've never seen that, and that seems so dangerous. But yeah, I mean, that one, that's the leader in the clubhouse for Twippy women's match of the year. Going to be tough to top that. But boy, Drew and Damian Priest certainly tried.
Yep.
Hell of a fun, great entrances. We had Kerry King from Slayer for Damian Priest. That was a fucking fun as hell. And yeah, this is exactly what it needed to be. Other than if somebody suggested, whoever it was, like they need to actually go to, go to like Sin City, like actually on the Vegas Strip and do it for real. And I'm like, yeah, that would be fucking cool. What did you guys think of that one? Because that was another one that they beat the hell out of each other. The spot that when Priest was doing old school and Drew pushed him off the ropes and to the tables, that one got me big time.
Yeah.
No, I thought fun fact, both of them had a Slayer tie-in, Brian. You don't play many video games, but Drew was kind of dressed up as the new Doom game coming out, and the
Yes,
lead
that's
character
right.
is
Yep.
like I forget what the real name is, but he's like the Doom Slayer. So
Mm-hmm.
Slayer, get it? It was just nice seeing them beat the crap out of each other. Both guys are so
Yeah.
good. The crowd was eating it up for a match that was like not for a title. Hopefully, it will end a rivalry where both guys have legitimate movements potentially to other places. I thought I thought it was great for exactly what it was. Now they could have done a little pre-recorded, maybe like a Gold Dust Roddy Piper from back in the day,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. If that's what you meant,
I
that could
was
have been
thinking
kind
that.
of fun.
Yeah.
Uh, Seeing them wrestle each other on a tour bus, go to Fremont Street.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
but no, I thought the match was great. It was exactly what it needed in that spot too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming off that high of a lot of fun technical from the ladies, and then just brutality on like the crap with a lot of moves in the chairs or the
Sure.
Claymore, that
Claymore with
last
the
one.
chair in the corner. Come
Ay
on.
ay ay.
That
Like
was awesome.
there's a legitimate points where I'm just like, how doesn't he just break his neck there?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like just from the speed and the accuracy, it just kudos to those guys because they made it look so dangerous, but I know they're safe at the same exact time as myself as a 43-year-old man watching it because I feel like I get off my chair and I want to throw out my back accidentally, and those guys are out there doing exactly what they were doing. But no, they had that match. It made me cringe at times, and that's exactly what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Greg,
those guys
any
are
other
so good.
additional? Yeah.
I think that's the only match that could have followed up the women's match
Yeah. Right.
because the crowd was so hot, so high. I think if you would have went to anything else, it would have felt like it was flat.
Yeah.
And that was the perfect match to follow up that women's match. Both guys really brought it and just put on an incredible show for everybody.
Yeah. Match two of the night, I think, is traditionally like the toughest spot because you're so excited to see the first match of the night. And let's look at night one. It was New Day and the War Raiders. Credit to them, but it was not in the same ballpark of what we saw with Priest and Drew. And how about Drew with the callback of doing the Twitter post of the board at work?
Oh, yeah.
Come on! That was amazing. Love that guy. I'm so glad that's a thing. I will look for that every WrestleMania that he's on from now on. And then the fun continued with the it was what the 4-way IC match, what I believe was next. And we all had it off the board, Dirty Dom, and he does it. It kind of went exactly how we thought, where he ends up playing things with Finn and pulling out the win that way. I mean, what did you think of the match? This was definitely a Braun Breaker showcase.
Yeah.
He was just, I'm going to suplex two guys at once. I'm going to spear Carlito from a table to a table. But you heard it. I mean, everybody was kind of thinking the same way in the crowd, where Dom was getting cheers and he might have been the fan favorite to pull it out, and he did. What'd you think on that, Greg?
Yeah, it was exactly what you said. We all called Dom. It wasn't the spear, but it was like a shoulder tackle that Braun Breaker did coming around the side. Was amazing.
Yeah, the penta.
Wow, yeah. I think everybody in that match again just brought everything they had and put on an amazing match. There wasn't anything that you ever felt like there was a down period in that match. There was always something going on. No rest holds in that match. It was just all go the whole. Just and then Dom hitting the frog splash from the top and getting the pin on Finn was a good way to end it.
Yeah, it was.
Agreed. I thought everyone's entrances I thought were fantastic. Penta I think was just taking it in, kind of like Ray Phoenix yesterday. Like, wow, a couple months ago we especially Ray Phoenix. I wasn't wrestling. Now I'm at WrestleMania, and then Penta a couple months ago, right? He was in limbo and he made his debut just earlier this year. Like, it's full circle moment of all those guys. I loved it when Dom had a little bit of trouble taking off the mask, and Cole was kind of making fun of him, and Wade's like, he's a luchador. The mask isn't supposed to come off so easy. So like just even those things, and like the match was sponsored by Dude Wipes, and just the numerous tie-ins, like the comedic factor. But I thought, Braun is just such a genetic freak.
He's
If I can
wild.
play into those exact words of his Uncle Scotty, the Frankensteiner, always love seeing that when he's just standing and he just flawlessly doesn't hold on to a guy and jumps up. Everything about that match I just thought was so great, especially the chemistry with all four of those guys. That leads into night after or Raw after Mania tomorrow night. Like, there's so many things that are going to be followed up on, plus maybe some debuts. That is the ability to be one of the best Raw after Manias because they've been kind of up and down. I feel like they haven't been
They have.
as amazing as they used to be maybe like 10 years ago. So we'll see. That Judgment Day confrontation
That's
is
going to be the fun one. Yeah.
fun tomorrow. Because
Yeah.
Liv lost, Dom won, Finn, right, lost. So
Yeah.
it'll be entertaining.
And Kev, and Greg, if you've been listening, like I've said it before, I'm like, man, Finn Balor's a dick. Like, Dom's been trying to help him. Like, what if we get a new member? Like, let's be stronger. And, I got you an IC title match. Like, I get why people are cheering for Dom. He's not such a bad guy right now. Finn Balor's been the dick who's like always kind of talking down to Liv and Raquel and Carlito. Like, I'm sorry. So, like, I love where this is headed, and it finally came to a head tonight in that match. So, really looking forward to that on Monday. We got our mystery opponent for Randy Orton. One guy that was tossed around a little bit, Joe Hendry. How did that feel for you, Greg?
I was okay with it. It was a fun surprise. The only thing I didn't like was the second RKO at the end.
Me too.
He got him. He pinned him. Show the respect, and I get why he's done it. He's done it in the past too. But it was just, I thought it was fun, and it was fun for the fans. You could see the reaction. It's something we never thought we would see. You never thought you'd see a TNA champion at WrestleMania. So cool spot, fun spot. I think they could have done without the second RKO.
I couldn't say it any better. That's exactly what I thought. Kev?
If it only led to the pose at the end, that's
Randy,
the only reason why I somewhat accepted it, because I didn't want to see insult added to injury, right?
Right.
But I thought for the few minutes it was fun and entertaining. And he's another guy that was just looking everywhere. And I understand he looks off into the crowd like when he walks down to the ring anyway. But he was literally looking like almost in awe. And he was probably in awe of the paycheck that he got for being at Mania. So in I don't know when his contract ends, or probably his multi-year with TNA, but that's probably just a foot in the door of like, hey, remember, this is what you can go to.
Yeah.
So
Kevin Owens gets hurt last week. They announced that he's not going to compete. I don't know if Joe Hendry was their first plan, but imagine getting that call as Joe Hendry, 5 days out, 7 days out. Hey, do you want to be part of WrestleMania? Like, that's an amazing, amazing thing for him to be able to do.
Yeah. And I know like Rusev was thrown around here and there.
A lot of Rusev talk.
Perfect for him not to be there. Because with Randy, wasn't going to lose because
that was my thing too, Kev.
He's on the Backlash poster alone. It saved Rusev. Brian, you said Riddle. Maybe
Riddle would have been my May choice. Yeah,
that would have been fun, but it wouldn't have been as maybe still comedic, right? But like maybe the crowd wouldn't have taken it to heart with Joe Hendry. So I think they made a perfect choice. I think they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, it would have been cool to have an RK Bro thing, because that story never reached its end because of everything that happened.
And so, I still think that. Oh, sorry.
No,
I still think that RK Bro like organic 420 or whatever shirt is still on like WWE shop.
They haven't got rid of that.
Because every now and then I go into the clearance and I go lowest to highest just to see what other new shirts there are. Yeah. And I swear that Riddle one's been on there for like 2 years.
That's awesome. It might have been on sale, with WrestleMania being 420 today. So might have been an extra 15% off if you looked at that one, I guess. But yeah, that was my number one was Riddle. My number two was Matt Cardona, and Hendry was my number three. So I was like, all right, that's a cool spot. Cause I had the same thing of like, I don't want Rusev or like somebody that there's going to be future plans with, because they're going to lose. And that's not, I never like a debut ends with a loss. It's like, it seems so counterproductive.
Yeah.
And then we certainly thought it could be the case, and it turned out to be that Becky Lynch was Lyra's partner, and they are the tag champs. Becky and Lyra taking on Liv and Raquel. Lost my train of thought, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I was thinking about Liv Morgan's outfit.
It's somewhat creepy when she's like posing with the belt, and all you see is like men with their cameras.
Yeah.
Like, that's,
yeah.
Especially green
I would
shirt
never do
guy.
that.
That was like the
Oh
biggest
God,
thing.
green shirt guy, yeah.
Because he just stands out. That's like he was like like smiling all giddy. Believe me, like whatever nylon or plastic red bathing suit she wore, kudos, right? Lives as an attractive lady. Probably taking a video so guys can go home and like, I'm gonna slow mo it and see if
God,
something creepy, right? Especially from green shirt guy. But yeah, for what it was, I when Lyra was coming down, watch wrestling with how old are your kiddos, Greg?
6 and 10.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Did they watch with you?
Yeah, my youngest watched it. Maxwell watched a little bit too, my oldest. But Ian is the one that's like full in, our 6-year-old.
Okay, because I watched with my 9-year-old, and he's like, Dad, do you think she gets paid to wear those wings? And he's like laughing, making fun. Nice. And then you see her like Becky comes down and Lyra hugs her with the wings still on. That's all he's making fun of her on. And it was like, but our household popped when Becky came out.
She looked great.
Oh, phenomenal.
Didn't miss a beat. I thought the match was pretty good. We wiped it off the board for our predictions, because if you would have told me it was Bailey and Lyra, then I probably would have picked Liv and Raquel, right? But yeah, I was like, Becky Lynch. So very curious. And Lyra, I gotta say, I don't think she's someone. I don't see her ever being like the main person, like the main title holder. When she was the champ in NXT for a while, I was always kind of like, like she's good, but I don't get the feeling I get when I have for other champions. But I think she's getting slowly but surely. I mean, now she's IC and tag champ. The crowd, it's a big crowd, and she's got the big freaking bird wings, like we said, but they're doing the woo with her. So, gotta keep an eye on that. I still hold firm to kind of how I see her playing out, but she is very good. And so it's just something I picked up on too. I'm like, maybe she's getting there, slowly but surely. Maybe she's getting there.
I'm becoming more and more of a fan as well.
Yeah.
I think on the mic, I think that's where because she's always been amazing in the ring.
She's very good in the ring. Yeah. Absolutely.
Truly so good in the ring. Just the mic skills, I think, could just improve a little bit. You could just see how happy she was fighting with Becky tonight, both from Ireland. Yeah. Like you just see, she looked like candy or a kid in a candy store. Yeah. That was the nice thing for her.
Yeah, and then that took it to Cody and Cena, guys. So yeah, I'll be very curious what Cena says. The whole like, I'm retiring this championship. I'm gone forever. You're gonna forever put on the new title and know that that's not the real title. So I'm very curious how they get around that. I mean, again, it could just be as simple as Cody saying, "I want a rematch," and they do it anyway. But I know that was the one sticking point I had about that whole back and forth that him and Cody had. Otherwise, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Maybe a rematch for the 2-night SummerSlam, you would think. I'm just wondering kind of like where the next thing will be for the future John Cena.
Well, let me ask you this. Yeah. I'll ask both of you guys this question. Backlash is less than 3 weeks away. Does Orton challenge Jey Uso, or does Orton challenge Cena? He's on the poster, so he's fighting for some title.
He has more history with Cena.
That's what I have to imagine. It's a check mark off that retirement tour match. So if that's the case, then Cody doesn't get instant rematch.
Yeah.
So
maybe
does Cody go away for a little bit?
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe Cody gets some time off. He's been the man for a long time. Not even just with getting the championship at last WrestleMania, but prior to that, he's just been doing everything. So yeah, maybe he has a little summer vacation for a bit, something like that. Well, guys, before we wrap it up, we did our night 1 grades. Your night 2 grade for WrestleMania. And then I guess in your mind you can kind of put together if night 1 was this, night 2 is this, then that averages a whatever the case. I'll go first. I'll give tonight an A-. I have to go back and look at the AJ Logan Paul match like we've said, and we've talked about the Travis Scott being a little bit too much for my liking, so those are kind of my only notches. I mean, those first 4 matches, or was it 3 or 4, counting the Randy Orton match that got added in, those were like all-timers that I could probably watch anytime, throw on and go, yeah, these were really, really good. So I got an A- and a B-. So I think that makes it like a B+, I'd say, right?
Between a B and a B+.
In the middle there, so
you're probably like an 86.
87-ish, yeah, somewhere in the middle. So that's a pretty solid score, I would say. Yeah. What you got, Kev?
I was gonna say A-.
Okay.
I think I think an A- meaning like you can either go to an A, and A+ is like absolutely amazing. Nothing was wrong with it. Period. Yeah. Blah blah blah. And maybe that main event just left a little sour, but maybe that's me also being a baby and not being catered to exactly what I wanted at the end of the day. Right.
Yeah.
I would just say A-. Not that there's anything bad. That's exactly it. And I think yesterday I gave a B. So
I think so.
I'll say B+.
That's that B+
overall
range
for the weekend. B+, very teetering on that A- range, because I feel like this Mania overall for 2 days left me feeling very like giddy almost. And I was like more excited last week. I said I was, or this past week I was more excited to watch night 1 overall.
Yeah, we all said that.
Just because of that, because I think the main point I made was that triple threat match, which that made it for me. Because it's always based on the main events, right?
Yes,
right. You would have put that triple threat match tonight.
Yeah.
I feel
that's an all-timer.
I feel like this could have been an all-time one night. And I feel like that would have been an A+ show. And I feel like maybe to even out the shows, that maybe they could have put the IC 4-way yesterday in that US championship just to make those evened out a little bit. But I think they didn't realize the lightning in the bottle that they were going to get from some of these matches tonight. Because I think the talent showed up big time yesterday. So I think they had an extreme incentive to kind of go out there and be like, you know what, we're going to steal the show. That's why I feel like those women stole it right from the get-go. Yeah, and I feel like everyone else had like, okay, we have to go out there now, and that's what the bar was raised at. We got to see if we can achieve that. So I'll say A-.
Love it. Greg, your overall and tonight,
yeah, A- tonight. I mean, the same thing, that the ending a little bit sour. Like Kevin said, you flip flop these 2 main events. You have as close to a perfect night of WrestleMania that you could get if you flip the main events. Just really well done. The whole weekend was good. Like you guys said, B+ for the entire weekend, but it was a fun weekend of wrestling. Lots of interesting ways it could go. I'm wondering a little bit if Cena's taking the title and he's retiring or going away, does that set up something with him and Punk, like Punk did to him when he won and he left and said, "Hey, I'm going away. I won your title. I'm done now." And maybe that opens the door for them to have a little thing on this retirement tour of his. So I think there's a lot of cool, interesting ways they can go after this weekend.
Yeah, the possibilities are out there. That's a really good thought. And the John Cena, retirement tour rolls on, but time's ticking. We're about a quarter into the year now, so we're gonna have to start looking at those dates and seeing what's coming up and what's gonna make sense. So. Very cool. Great stuff all around. Thanks, guys. Greg, thanks so much, man.
Yeah,
three times this week.
Times,
Holy cow.
Awesome. I feel like you're definitely going to be a picker again in 2025.
Yeah, anytime you guys need me, just give me the word. I'm happy to jump on.
Unless we can get Stephen Flo.
Oh, you have to have me on then.
yeah, for sure. I was gonna say if Jason was here, he'd probably say like, yeah, you could replace Joe anytime now. But Jason would say that, Joe, not me. No. Joe had some quick notes. We do have like a minute or two left here. Let me see what he said and if it's anything worth really mentioning. He said the opener maybe is just shy of Brett and Owen as the best like opening match in Mania history. No argument there. Is Dom a fan favorite now? We kind of talked about that. And Logan AJ was good, but not phenomenal. And Becky was the right choice, but rather have had Lyra attacked. Okay, like Becky attacks Lyra and Becky and Bayley as champs. Okay, that's an interesting little angle there that he's throwing out. So right on, man. WrestleMania 41 is in the books. We will have a lot more stories from the algorithm, Jason, and I can still get used to saying that, from Las Vegas. We can't wait to hear about that. We're going to hear all about it together. I'm going to wrap this up and get ready. Looks like John Cena just hit the press conference now, so that'll be what we wrap up on, and then of course the roast of WrestleMania. Who's not staying up for that, right, guys? Okay, I'm just kidding. Right. For Greg, for Kevin, for Jason the Algorithm, Joe who's not here. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks for watching. Enjoy wrestling, and we'll talk to you next week on That Wrestling Podcast.
Thanks for listening. Follow That WrestlePod on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube.
1, 2, 3, that's it!